Fire if you believe in heroes who show up when people need help. Like and subscribe right now. You're about to witness something that will make you believe in the goodness of people. This story is absolutely incredible. Asterisk. The fire station on Riverside Drive was quiet that October evening. It was 11:47 p.m., and most of the crew at Station 12 was sleeping. The red trucks sat in their bays, ready for any emergency. The station was a safe place, a fortress of safety in the dark. Then came the knock. It wasn't a normal knock. It was desperate, frantic, the kind of knock that comes from pure fear. Firefighter Marcus Webb was still awake, sitting in the lounge watching the tail end of a game on television. He heard it immediately. His hand went to the remote, and he muted the sound. The knock came again, harder this time, accompanied by screaming. "He found me! He found me! Please help me!" Marcus moved immediately, his body reacting before his mind fully caught up. He was at the door in seconds. Other firefighters were emerging from their bunks. Captain James, Rodriguez, and Chun. They moved on instinct, the kind of coordinated response that came from years of training. Marcus opened the door. There stood a boy. Couldn't have been more than 11 or 12 years old. His clothes were torn. His face was streaked with dirt and tears. His eyes were wild with terror. He was hyperventilating, barely able to form words. Inside. Marcus said, pulling the boy in quickly and closing the door behind him. "You're safe. You're safe now. You're at a fire station." The boy collapsed into Marcus's arms, sobbing with a kind of intensity that only comes from genuine, life-threatening fear. "He's coming," the boy gasped between sobs. "My foster father. He hit me. I ran. I've been running. But he found me. I can see his truck. He's coming. He found me." Captain James was already moving. He'd heard enough to know this was a child protection situation, probably involving abuse. He'd been trained for this. He knew the protocol. "What's your name, son?" James asked gently, kneeling down to the boy's level while Marcus held him. "Danny," the boy gasped. "Danny Morris. I'm in foster care. My foster father, Tom Hendricks, he beats me. He locked me in the basement. I was scared. So scared. I got out through a window, and I ran. I ran for hours. I was trying to get to the police station, but I saw your lights, and I was so scared and—" His words trailed off into another wave of sobbing. Captain James looked at Rodriguez. "Call it in. We've got a child abuse situation. Possible foster parent. Name is Tom Hendricks. Tell dispatch the child so they can see the foster father's truck approaching." Rodriguez was already on the radio, reporting the situation to dispatch with the calm professionalism of someone who'd done this many times before. Meanwhile, Chin was gently examining Danny for visible injuries. There were bruises on his arms, bruises on his legs, a cut on his forehead. The physical evidence supported his story. "Danny," Marcus said quietly, still holding the boy, "you're safe now. This is a fire station. We're firefighters. We help people. You did the right thing coming here. You're safe." But the boy kept looking toward the door, terrified. "He's coming," Danny repeated. "I know he's coming. He was so angry. He's going to take me back, and he's going to—" He couldn't finish the sentence. His fear was too overwhelming. Captain James made a decision. "All personnel, we have a child in danger. Position yourselves. Nobody goes in or out of the station without my authorization." The firefighters moved into position. They weren't law enforcement. That wasn't their role. But they were protectors. And they were going to protect this child. Exactly 4 minutes later, a dark truck pulled up outside the fire station. A large man emerged. He had an angry expression. He was walking toward the fire station door with determination. Captain James stood at the door, blocking it. The man, Tom Hendricks, reached it and started to push it open. "Fire station," James said calmly but firmly. "Can I help you?" "That's none of your business," Hendricks said, trying to push past. "I'm here for my foster kid. He ran away. He's got problems. Mental health issues. He lies about everything. I need to take him home." The child came to us seeking protection, James said, his voice remaining calm and professional. He reports abuse. Until law enforcement arrives and investigates, he stays here. You can't keep me from my own foster son, Hendricks said, his voice rising. He's my responsibility. He's my ward. Give him to me. No, James said simply. The child is safe. Law enforcement is on the way. You can speak with them. Hendricks tried to push past again, but Marcus and Rodriguez were suddenly there, their presence physical and unmovable. They didn't need to be aggressive. They just needed to be solid, immovable, present. For a moment, it seemed like Hendricks might try something. His face went red, his fists clenched. But then, sirens, police sirens, getting closer. Hendricks looked at the firefighters. He looked at the police cars pulling up outside, and something in him seemed to deflate. He knew he'd lost. Within minutes, police officers entered the fire station. Captain James explained the situation. The officers took statements from Danny. They documented the bruises. They called Child Protective Services. They arrested Tom Hendricks on the spot for child abuse. As Danny watched the police take his foster father away, something shifted in his expression. The terror didn't fully disappear, but it was replaced by something else. Relief. Hope. The knowledge that he was truly safe. An officer named Detective Sarah Martinez sat with Danny while everything was being processed. You did something very brave tonight, she told him. You recognized you were in danger. You got yourself to safety. You asked for help. That took real courage. I was so scared, Danny said, his voice small. I've been scared for so long. He would lock me in the basement when I did things wrong. He would hit me. I tried to tell my caseworker, but he said she wouldn't believe me. He said I had mental problems, and nobody would believe anything I said. But you got out, Martinez said, and you came to the fire station. And these firefighters kept you safe. You trusted the right people. She looked at Captain James. We're going to get him to a hospital for a full medical evaluation. And then we're contacting Child Protective Services to find him emergency placement. He won't be going back with his foster father ever again. As the evening wore on, the firefighters stayed with Danny. They gave him hot chocolate. They let him sit in the station kitchen, where it was warm and bright and safe. They didn't ask him intrusive questions. They just made sure he knew he was protected. Marcus sat with him for a while. You know what? Marcus said, I became a firefighter because I wanted to help people. Moments like this is why. You needed help, and you had the wisdom to come to a place where people could help you. That's incredible. Danny looked up at Marcus. Thank you, he said simply. Thank you for not letting him take. One me. Always, Marcus said. We protect people. That's what we do. The story of Danny and the firefighters at Station 12 teaches us something critical about courage, about listening to children, and about standing up for people who can't protect themselves. Danny did something that many abused children struggle to do. He recognized the danger he was in, and he took action to escape it. He ran. He found a safe place. He asked for help. That took extraordinary courage for a 12-year-old. But what's equally important is what the firefighters did. They didn't question his story. They didn't assume he was lying or exaggerating. They heard a child in terror, and they believed him. They acted to protect him. They put their bodies between him and danger. This is what believing children looks like. This is what taking abuse seriously looks like. This is what creating safe spaces for vulnerable people looks like. Tom Hendricks had told Danny that nobody would believe him, that his mental health issues made him unreliable. This is a common tactic of abusers. They isolate their victims by convincing them that nobody will believe them anyway. They create a narrative where the victim is the problem, not the abuse. But Danny managed to escape that narrative. He managed to reach out. And when he did, he found people who believe him immediately. For anyone watching this story who may be experiencing abuse or who knows a child experiencing abuse, this is what you need to know. There are people who will believe you. There are people who will help you. Police officers, firefighters, teachers, counselors, Child Protective Services. They exist to protect you. And if you're someone who encounters a child in danger, the lesson is clear. Believe them. Act. Protect them. Don't question whether they might be exaggerating or lying. Act as if the danger is real, because often it is. The reality is that child abuse is widespread. Many children are suffering in silence right now, afraid to speak up, convinced that nobody will believe them or help them. Danny's story reminds us that there are systems in place to protect children, but those systems only work if adults take children's reports seriously. The firefighters at Station 12 weren't trained to be the primary responders for child abuse, but they knew their role. They knew that when someone came to them seeking help, their job was to provide safety while the appropriate authorities handled the investigation and intervention. That's a lesson for all of us. We don't all need to be experts in child protection, but we all need to know that if a child comes to us and says they're in danger, our first responsibility is to believe them and to connect them with people who can help. Fire final call to action. Did you see how a terrified boy found safety with brave firefighters? This story shows us that heroes exist, and they show up when children need protection. If this story moved you, if you believe that children deserve to be safe and protected, like and subscribe right now. Let's build a community of people who believe children, who take abuse seriously, and who are willing to protect the vulnerable. Drop a comment and share. Have you witnessed someone showing courage by speaking up about abuse? Tell us about it. Share this video with anyone who works with children, teachers, coaches, counselors. Share it with your friends and family. Help us spread the message that children deserve to be believed and protected. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, please reach out to the National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-422-4453 or text HOME to 741741. There are people ready to help. Hit that notification bell so you never miss stories about people showing up for others. See you in the next video. ****.